Hey guys, Coach Ben here, bigbenchas.com, and today I wanted to tackle a common question that I get. First being, hey Coach Ben, if I look into your programming, if I look into your templates online, bigbenchas.com, I know it's bench focused. Am I going to be able to incorporate the other lifts while doing those bench programs? So yes, our templates online, if you look at our programming section of bigbenchas.com, those are mostly bench-focused programs. But you can definitely take any of those programs and work in your squats, deadlifts as well. I know that's oftentimes a common question that I get. That's often a common concern with someone because they have trust in our bench programming. You know, you've heard a lot of our videos, you've seen a lot of our technical stuff. You know that you're going to reap the rewards from going through this type of training that I'm putting forth to you. But you're nervous because you're also concerned with your squat and deadlift. I get that. All right, I totally get that. But have no worries because you can totally work in those movements into any of those bench programs. We also have the full power program available as well, and that already kind of incorporates everything. There's programming for everything in there, okay? And if you're ever confused, you can definitely email me, coachben@bigbenchas.com. So I just wanted to clear that up, get that out of the way. And I wanted to tackle the question, how can I keep a bench focus while training the other lifts? Now, perhaps you want to do this for a few reasons. Maybe you're just trying to go through a period where you want to focus on your bench, because you know it's your weakest lift, your squat's going up, your deadlift's going up, they're really adding to your total, but your bench is way down there. And you know if you can get your bench up, that you're really going to raise that total and be a lot more competitive. Or you might just be a bench-only competitor, more like myself, okay, where my main concern is doing well in the bench press. For whatever reason, you know, maybe that's just your pursuit, maybe you have an injury that kind of forces you down that path. Regardless, I want to talk through how I keep a focus on the bench press and progressing that movement while also still working in the other lifts, because I still do squat, I still do deadlift, and I still make progress on those lifts. Maybe a little bit slower because, again, you got to account for your goals. Are you trying to progress the bench? Are you trying to progress those movements? You can make progress in those movements, but it's going to be slower if you have a bench focus. So one thing I would look at is your frequency. So you're definitely not going to be able to get away with benching only one time a week with a bench focus, okay? And I don't recommend that for anyone in general. I definitely think you can up the volume or the frequency to twice a week for sure, regardless if you have a bench focus or not, okay? And you can go as high as 4 times a week. So what I'll normally do, most of the lifters that come to me online coaching on our program, all right, we are going to be benching 2 times a week. If you have a focus on raising all your lifts, 2 times a week is going to be sufficient, okay? If you want to get real focused on the bench, so the bench-only competitors that come to train with me, I'm usually going to start them around 3 times a week on the bench, okay? If not 4 times a week, it depends. All right, if they're going to train the other lifts, probably 3 times. If they're solely training bench, that's all they can train, probably going to be bumped up to about 4 times a week. All right, so somewhere in that is a good zone to be in. Now, again, it could change. You could even do more, but then you're kind of pushing the envelope with recovery and all that. It depends on the person, but that's the sweet spot for frequency. Recovery, got to have a bench focus, okay? Whereas if you're a full power lifter, right, you aren't necessarily concerned with, is this squat workout going to affect my bench workout? Is this deadlift workout going to leak fatigue into the next bench workout? You're not really concerned about those things as much. But if you're solely focused on getting your bench up, or you're a bench-only competitor, that has to be a big focus of yours. Your squat day can't be so balls out that you can't bench the next day. Okay? That deadlift workout can't be so strenuous that it's leaking over to your bench workout. That can't be affected. The primary thing is what's happening on the bench. All right. Now, maybe there's a speed work the next day, and your primary objective isn't heavy volume, or it's not heavy singles, something like that, right? Maybe you can push that squat workout a little bit more. But it's going to start with what the hell's going on with the bench first and foremost. All right, so recovery has to have a bench focus. Add bench accessories to other movement. This is also how I continue to emphasize and push the bench press while still training and making progress in other movements. So the primary thing driving my progress in the squat and the deadlift is doing main movements. All right, we look at the 80-20 rule. 80% of the results comes from 20% of the work, which is main movement work. All right, so that's the main squat workout for the day, and I'll probably throw in a secondary movement. So, for example, maybe yes, I'll do safety squat bar with chain weight, and then secondary will be some kind of, I'll do belt squat, or I'll do some kind of pause squatting, something like that. But then I don't continue to push the envelope too much with things that are going to boost my squat. I leave it at that, all right, because I'm still making progress that way. Again, we want to fuel the bench if we have a bench focus. So I'm going to throw in bench accessory movements on those days. Okay, so if I need to develop my triceps more, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some tricep work on my squat day. Okay, I need to train my back more. I'm going to throw some more back work into my deadlift day. All right, so that's how I'll approach that. This is kind of a breakdown. This is like what I'm doing right now. This is my current routine. I know a lot of you probably train the weekends, which is fine. You can definitely, this isn't set in stone. You can play around with that. I don't train on the weekends. Too much going on. It would be too inconsistent, and I want to reserve that for family time. So the weekends I take out. So this is across the week. That's when I get my training in. Monday, I'm going to kick off the week while I'm fresh with bench workout. Okay, I'm going to really drive. This is the heavy one for the week. I had the weekend to rest. This is it. This is go time, fresh off the week, bench press. Next day, I'm going to do my squat. Okay, again, main movement, and then bench accessories. All right, so some things I can fill in there. I'll train arms. I'll train arms Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll get arm training in. Wednesday, going on, it's going to be another bench-related day. Whether I do overhead press for myself or recovery bench type workout where I'll do very high rep, feet up with the bar, just to kind of go through that groove. Very high volume, get more of a pump effect, get myself recovered for Thursday's bench. Okay. Whether I do either of those, it's still a pressing movement, upper body dominant focus. Overhead press, you could substitute any type of movement in there. You could do an incline press. It's really unique to the individual, but that's another bench type day. Thursday, bench day. Every day is bench day. So Thursday we are benching again. That's our second bench workout of the week. May not be as intense as Monday's bench session. Depends how you recovered through the week. If you have a hard time recovering, I would try to do the recovery bench type workout. If you recover pretty quickly, you can probably do another type of overhead press or bench specific type of work. But Thursday, we're back at it. Friday, we finish up with some deads and then bench accessory. All right, so we're probably training arms. We're trying to maybe do some band pull aparts, work our rear delts, but there's another bench accessory focus there. Okay, guys, so that's very simply, if you want to, again, focus on bench primarily for whatever reason, you're a bench-only competitor, or you are just trying to bring up your bench press, okay, that's how I'll go lay it out. So you can make progress across the board, but more specifically, the bench press. Coach Ben here. And that was a lesson at the whiteboard. Next to the bench.